Have you ever finished having sex with someone and after the sex you realize that you are disconnected emotionally with that person? Have you ever felt like after making love with your partner, you feel there is this distance? A lot of you will say a good sex is what makes a good relationship, but you and I know that is a lie. Hi, if this is your first time, my name is Harmony Lebechi Chibuzo. I am your love and emotional bestie. Now let's talk about things that a lot of people experience but struggle to explain, and that is sex. You just finished having sex with someone. Instead of feeling emotionally connected, you feel disconnected. Even when your body enjoyed it, your soul still craves for something that is not within its reach. Two people can have good sexual chemistry and still feel emotionally distant, drained, and empty afterwards. Two people can have good sexual life and yet feel like they are lonely even when they are still in a relationship. And a lot of you will say if the sex is good, then the relationship is good. That is a blatant lie. The worst part of this is when sex becomes the strongest thing in a relationship, other things in that relationship weakens and dies off even without you knowing. You ignore communication problems. You ignore lack of emotional safety. You ignore the fact that nothing solid aside sex is being built in that relationship. Sex becomes the glue that joins everything together. But glue is not a foundation. A foundation supports something real, but glue holds things together, piece by piece, for just the moment. And sadly, many relationships are surviving on that glue today. Now, this is what it does to you and your partner emotionally. During sex, you feel wanted, you feel desired, you feel special. But after sex, you begin to wonder, what are we? Why am I still craving this deep emotional connection? Even when you both are lying on bed, even when the body is together. Now, on the other side, the other person may feel completely indifferent. They enjoy the sexual connection. They like the excitement. But when it comes to deep emotional connections, they're uncomfortable with it. Therefore, sex is an easiest escape, an easiest way to bond with you. Now you see, one person is connected emotionally and the other person is seeing it as enjoyment, as nothing too deep. And now both of you are now into a misunderstanding that you don't even know you've created. The other person feels like, oh, I want to get married to this person. They feel deeper, they feel loved, they feel needed. While the other person sees it as comfort. They see sex and deep emotional connections to be different things, and that's where the confusion sets in. The biggest mistakes people do in a relationship is trying to use sex to measure or to equate a healthy or a long-lasting relationship. They will always say, we had an amazing sex, our sexual life is on fire, therefore every other thing can fall in place. It's not true. Having sex or having strong sex or having a fireful sex does not mean strong connection. Sex is just an expression. Deep connection is the foundation, is a structure. And if the structure is weak, the expression cannot hold it together. Imagine two people lying down after making love, after having sex. One person begins to think about how they are going to get married, grow a family, and live happily ever after. While the other person is indifferent, they're on their phones. They are very, very indifferent to whatever feelings you may have. And it doesn't make them a bad person. Now, let's go deeper. Some relationships are slowly becoming all about sex. Not because it's intentional, okay? It's simply because that's the only time when things feel easy. They do not want to be accountable. They do not want to be committed. They do not want to be answerable to you in any form or ways. So the only way they can connect with you deeply is by having sex with you. When it's time for serious conversations, they are not there. When tensions begin to brew up in that relationship, they are running helter-skelter. But when it comes to sex, they are always there. And that's because sex feels easy. It feels exciting. It removes tension temporarily for the moment. So both people keep going back to it, not realizing that slowly their relationship is not growing and it keeps repeating the same cycle. Now ask yourself this. Why is it that people still stay in an unhealthy relationship all because of sex? Why do people still stay in toxic relationship just because the sex is good? The truth is, sex is very powerful. Now, let me explain. During sex, there are chemicals that are released into the body that create the bonding feeling that is misquoted as love, but it's actually lust. It releases chemicals that create attachments without you knowing. So the body remembers those intense moments. And when it's time for you to walk away, your body will begin to tell you, oh, he's a good man. Oh, she's a good woman. Oh, maybe if I can give them time. What if I give them time? Oh, they will change. There is no other person out there, simply because you are already unconsciously attached to this person. But the truth is simple. The sex is strong, is holding you, but the emotions, the emotional connection, the emotional structure is weak. Now, I want you to understand this very clearly. Sex is just physical closeness. Sex can happen instantly with anybody, anywhere, but connection takes time and work. Sex excites the body, but connection calms the mind. And when your relationship has both strong sex and deep emotional connection, trust me, it is something very beautiful. But when sex exists without connection, people will always feel empty after having sex with their partners or with anybody. The body felt the closeness, but your soul did not feel like it had a belonging. And this is where the quiet questions comes into your mind. You begin to ask yourself, do I still feel insecure? Why don't I understand where we stand in this relationship or in this situationship? Why does something feel missing? These questions are not randoms. They are signals. Signals that something that is being built, something that you're having with that man, with that woman is not deep. It's not connecting. Now, imagine staying in those patterns for years. Frustration grows, argument increases, resentment grows. One person feels used, the other person feels pressured. Because at the end of the day, sex can only create moments, but it cannot build a life. It cannot repair broken trust. It cannot replace respect. It cannot even replace honest human communication. Now, this is what I want you to learn. Sex should not be the foundation of any relationship. Sex should be an expression of a strong foundation. If you recognize these patterns in your life, stay here. Come close. Pay attention to how you feel after sex. That feeling is telling you the truth. Start having conversations that are not about sex with that person, with your partner. Talk about direction. Talk about expectations. Talk about emotional needs. Stop using sex to fix problems. Face the problems directly. And most importantly, protect your emotional dignity and body. If someone enjoys the physical connection, which is sex, but avoids the emotional accountability, then now you know that this person do not love you because they do not want to commit to you. They do not want to work. They do not want to be accountable to you. Because at the end of the day, sex can create attraction. Sex can create excitement. But real connections create peace. And real love will always give you peace, not confusion. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next episode. Bye.